Hey everyone, this is Emily and welcome or welcome back to Emily Central, your source to all things Philippines. How are you guys doing today? Kumusta na po kayong lahat? I am in the Philippines right now as we speak. I arrived here last week and I'll be staying here for a couple of more days before I head back to the United States. I only came for my grandma's funeral. My grandma passed away last week and I attended her funeral. I want to say thank you to all of you guys out there for reaching out to me and saying that they were sorry that my grandma died, and so thank you guys all very much. So a few days ago when I landed in Japan for my connecting flight from the United States to Tokyo, then Tokyo to Manila, and then Davao. So when I arrived in Tokyo, I was able to make a quick video for you guys just to update you guys on exactly what happened when I departed the United States and arrived in Tokyo. But because of my grandma's death, I was not able to give you guys any updates at all of my arrival process here in the Philippines. But I gotta tell you guys, like I posted on my community, there's really nothing for you guys to worry about. You shouldn't worry about what was going to happen or what's going to happen when you depart or when you arrive in the Philippines, because it was just like what I was saying is pre-COVID, right? So if you talk about the new protocol, it was already implemented when I arrived here in the Philippines. So before I talk to you guys about my experience, my actual experience last week when I arrived, the new protocol is there's two, that's it, right? Fully vaccinated and unvaccinated, because I still see a lot of people reaching out to me. So Emily, how about the unvaccinated travelers? Well, let's talk about the vaccinated travelers. Vaccinated travelers, you are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after your second dose of the 2-dose series, or if you only just had 1 dose like Johnson & Johnson, then 2 weeks later you are fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated for the Philippines now is just the full vaccination with or without a booster. So whether you have a booster or not a booster and you had a 2-dose series or a 1-dose series, you are now considered fully vaccinated, and it means you no longer need a pre-departure COVID-19 test, okay? Fully vaccinated. It does not matter where you are coming from, what your nationality is, as long as you are fully vaccinated with or without a booster, no more pre-departure COVID-19 tests. Now, if you are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, or you cannot prove your vaccination status, then you will need to get a pre-departure COVID-19 test, and it has to be a rapid antigen test taken within 24 hours from the date and time of your departure from your country of origin. And that's it, you guys. Now, question. Quarantine. No more quarantine if you are fully vaccinated or unvaccinated, unless you do not do a RT-PCR test and you test positive, okay? So pretty easy. Those are the protocols, and that happened when I arrived here in the Philippines. So me and my family, a bunch of us came, right? So I'm gonna share some of their experiences. So I am a former Filipino, considered a foreign national, right? Because I only hold a U.S. passport. Then few of my aunts are dual citizens. A lot of my cousins are American-born citizens, so they are considered a foreign national. So let's talk about my arrival. As soon as we arrived in Manila, Philippines from Tokyo, so it was the United States, Tokyo, then Manila. As soon as we got off the plane and we got into the airport, you are gonna be welcomed by a bunch of different people, right, from either the airlines or the airport personnels, right? And they're gonna tell you to go ahead and prepare your e-arrival card, okay? I shared this tutorial for the e-arrival card, okay? It's very easy. I know some of you might not be really saying that it's easy, but if you follow this step-by-step guide, you'll be able to follow it really quickly, okay? It took about 5 minutes for me to do the e-arrival card, and you can do it before your departure. So when you arrive in Manila, you already have it to show to the officers, okay? But when you get to Manila and you don't have your e-arrival card, this is what's gonna happen. So when I walked into the airport, there are a bunch of Coast Guard officers there, and they are divided into different desk, okay? Either a desk or a window. So it looks like a desk, but then there's a little window, and each one of them will have a scanner, and you can pretty much line up wherever window you want to line up. So we lined up. There's no like foreigners only or Filipinos only for the eArrival card, okay? You don't get that separation till you get to immigration. So when you get to the desk or the window, then you just stand in line, and then you just show them your eArrival card. They'll scan it for you. 10 seconds later, you go to immigration. That's how easy it is. That is why it is recommended, that I recommend to you guys, and everyone recommends, if you have it done before your departure or before your arrival in the Philippines. That way you do not have to do it while you are at the airport. And that is what I'm going to cover right now. So when you get to the airport and you have not done your eArrival card QR code for whatever reason, right? You might have a reason why you didn't do it. There's actually on the other side of it our desk with laptops, and that is where you're gonna do your eArrival card. That way you can do your barcode or your QR code there and then show it to the quarantine officers. They'll scan your QR code for you. After you get it done, then you are all set to head to immigration. You guys, it is pretty easy. You either go to the eArrival card section if you don't have the eArrival card yet when you arrive, or you go to the desk or the counter or the window, however you want to call it. If you already have your eArrival card QR code, they'll scan it for you. A minute later, you go to the immigration officers right behind the eArrival card windows, okay? And that is where you're gonna see foreigners lined up, and then foreign passport, Filipino passport, and that is where immigration is, and that is probably where it took the longest for us, but really wasn't that long, okay? So we stood at the immigration officer. I am a former Filipino, so I stood at the foreigners line, foreign nationals line, and I got to immigration, and then so she asked me, are you a dual citizen? I said no, and all I needed to show them was the passport, my US passport, and the arrival form, okay? This arrival form they will give to you when you're still on the plane, or when you arrive in Manila. There's also a little counter there, so if you didn't do it on the plane, don't worry about it. It will still be at the counter by immigration. You just fill it out real quick. It's just your basic information and your flight information. And when I got to immigration officer, she asked me if I was a dual citizen, and then she said, but are you a former Filipino? And I said, yeah, I was born here. They did not ask for my Philippine birth certificate, or they did not ask for my old Philippine passport, okay? She just went ahead and gave me a 1-year stay in the Philippines because I do have the 𝗪𝗏𝗧 privileges, which gives you, as a former Filipino, it gives you 1-year visa stamp free to stay in the Philippines. But what I'm telling you is that they did not ask for my proof of former Filipino citizenship, which is a old Philippine passport or a birth certificate, okay? But that does not mean you don't prepare it. Just in case, you might get an officer that will actually ask you to prove your former Philippine citizenship, right? So go ahead and bring it with you. If you have an old Philippine passport, or if you have a Philippine birth certificate, go ahead and bring it with you guys. For my sister, she arrived as a former Filipino as well. She had her old passport, Philippine passport with her. They didn't ask for it, but she presented it. They also gave her a 1-year visa stamp, okay? My cousins arrived with us, and they're foreigners. They are American-born citizens, and since most of them arrived with their parents, they were also given 1-year visa stamp. But another cousin of mine arrived on their own as an American-born citizen. They were given 30 days, you guys, okay? That's how you break it all down. So after immigration, we went out, grabbed our luggage from customs, and we just left and transferred for our flight in Davao. And for Davao, that was it, you guys. That's how easy. The whole thing took about 30 minutes from getting out of the airport, doing our eArrival card, doing immigration, getting our luggage, and headed to our domestic flight for Davao City, Philippines. About 30 minutes for everything. It's just doing it pre-pandemic travel. So that is it, you guys. For nationals, same thing, just your passport. No one ever asked for our vaccination card. No one ever asks, but have it with you. Okay, I always suggest that you have it with you. Have your vaccine card with you. Have your Philippine birth certificate or old Philippine passport if you are a foreigner. Have your dual citizens if you need to do that. Have your dual citizenship paperwork. But pretty much your itinerary, your passport, and eArrival card is all you need, whether you are a Filipino or a foreign national. If you are unvaccinated, then you also need a pre-departure COVID-19 test, which is a rapid antigen test. And that's it, you guys. So how easy is that? So I hope that my experience helped you guys out a little bit. I thank you all very much for watching. If you can like and subscribe, and also share this video to anyone that might find it useful, I would greatly appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.